5 of this series finds me at approximately the halfway point between Chester and Denbigh, where I'll be exploring the remains of the railway in the Flintshire town of Mold.
So we've got this old stone wall here. It's a bit like the one we saw back there, edging onto the housing. And we've got the car park there, and I'm wondering, is this the original exterior wall of the station? The station would have been, well, this bit here gets higher as that stays level. It looks quite old, doesn't it? I'm wondering if that's the original. I'll have a look here just to see if there's anything interesting which may pop up on this wall. So I'm pretty certain this wall is contemporary, or even older than the station, and up to 1988, which is when the station was demolished. If I'd have stuck my camera over this wall, you would have seen Mold Station, as opposed to the back end of a Tesco store today.
The railway in Mold in 1912 was a very busy scene, as this map from the National Library of Scotland shows us. At the centre is the station, flanked by sidings and a goods shed, while to the south are cattle pens and another goods shed. But take a look at this siding here. It's almost a very short branch line.
So with our line crossing that way, we're pretty much where the stop sign or the no entry sign is, would have gone into the station. But at approximately this site, a siding would have come off the line and it would have gone through here. It would have followed this tree line until approximately here, then it would have headed up there into the higher trees. Then that siding would have split somewhere on the other side of this green building here, and one part of it would have gone across the road that we see there and ended in the car park over there, while another siding would have come up here and ended in this bit of waste ground that we see here, and ended pretty much where the lorry is. There's a wall, I don't know if I can see it. Now over here we have a building, and I don't know if I can get any closer. I'm going to try, and it does look very railway orientated, but according to the maps, no lines or sidings ever went on this side. They all went over there, or it went over there on that side. So what was this building? Was it like a yard, you know, offices? Or it's very ornate, I like it. See if I can have a look around this side. See, there is an entrance. See if I can get through the budlier. So there, see, there is an entrance, but oh no, we've got a door. We have a door, and it's looks like the domain of pigeons. That's not very pleasant, is it? So what was that building?
Mold Station opened in August 1849 as the terminus of the line from Chester. The extension to Denbigh came 20 years later in 1869. By the mid-30s, as many as 36 passenger services were using the station daily, but the inevitable decline in rail traffic during the 1950s and 60s was evident here, and the last passenger train departed Mold on the 28th of April 1962, with the cessation of goods in May 1964. However, the line remained in use, with goods services serving the Synthite Chemical Works north of the station. These also ceased in 1983, with the station building surviving until the 1990s before being demolished. The overhead modern view shows the site today, and by adding the railway, it shows that the entire Tesco site was once a thriving railway hub, one that in many people's opinions the town could really do with again.
The railway here in Mould may have long gone, but it's not forgotten as is depicted with this lovely memorial on Chester Street. So after leaving Mould Station, the line would have headed northwest and it would have crossed under this bridge. This is Chester Road. And we're very lucky these bridges are still here, because it gives us a good indication of, well, it allows the railway route to still be here. And on this one, that's rather good, isn't it? And then the line would have continued northwest out of here. So after Chester Street, we quickly come to a second bridge, once again in very good condition, and this carries King's Road over the former track bed. And we've even got a makers, it says WF Sim & Co of Liverpool, just up there. Now this one hasn't got a date stone in the middle, unfortunately, but it does have wonderful vaulted ceiling that's so synonymous with railway bridges. You can see the strengtheners, pretty rusty though. So we head onwards. So we can still see the line of our track bed. It's perfectly depicted by the modern road as it cuts through the car park. We're starting to move out of Mould now, and ahead of us is Denbigh Road. Now Denbigh Road offers 2 points of interest. The first is it used to have a level crossing here. Let's just cross the road. There was a level crossing here, but I don't think it's a particularly old level crossing, because I'm sure this road is of a recent build. When I say recent, we're probably looking at 1960s or 70s. I think it was after the line had closed to passengers, but this area here was still in use for freight. The second thing is that it allows us to get back on to the former track bed thanks to this relatively recently installed footpath. And straight away, that indicator of the amount of ballast is there to show that we are on the former railway. And as that sign says, path opened in 2010, so it's been open 14 years. I think, I don't know if you can see over there, we've got a couple of sleepers rotting. We've got another sleeper down there. I might be able to get to that one. There you go. Another sleeper. It's worth remembering, obviously, but although the line to passengers closed in 62, as I've said, this bit here was still running right up to 83. Not much further. That closed in 83 to the Synthite Works, which we'll have a look at in a minute. There's a load more ballast. In fact, I think I've just seen some buildings in there. Yes, I was saying, but the actual track was lifted, I think it was a couple of years later, in 85. And we've got an old building here, look. So it's a tiled floor. You can see the stone, and then we've got some brick here. Is that a fence post? And there's a gate over there, so was that, could this possibly been a signal box maybe? Have a look round. So we've got another raised area there. Is that brick? Yep, that's stone. You can see it's stone. And there's debris of bricks all around. Oh, and there's quite a bit more brickwork there. So, what am I looking at the remains of? Is it railway related? Could it be a signal box? It is a little bit off the track bed, so it could be something totally unrelated. But I'll have to have a look in the maps.
Here we are back on the map of 1912, and the unknown buildings in the trees are actually marked on the map, but alas, I'm still none the wiser. So if anyone knows their origin, let me know.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our trackbed walk. We've also got a high concentration of ballast. You can see it all down there. Our footpath goes off to the right towards the River Allen. All that lot there. But the line would have continued, not for much longer, a few hundred yards into there. Look at the lovely stinging nettles barring my way. So we've got a fence as well, so we can't go any further, and that is the beginning of the Synthite chemical works, where trains would have taken chemical away and into the Synthite works up to 1983, and that's what kept the line alive all that time. Obviously we can't get in there, but I'm going to try and wade down the river, which is just down there, because it skirts the Allen works, it skirts the edge of the track bed, and at one point the railway crosses over the River Allen, and there must be some remains of a bridge, and also there's a road bridge, a disused road bridge I think, which crosses the line a little bit further on the other side of the Synthite works. So what we'll do, we'll cross quickly back onto the track bed, and then, oh, and before, look at this. Now I believe that is an old sort of 60s style railway crossing ladder. Look at the great big post as well, so this must have been a recognised foot crossing, probably going that way rather than along the track bed. But that's seen a few stories, hasn't it? I like that. So I'm in the River Allen, and to say it's quite hard going is a bit of an understatement. It's very deep in places and very slippery underfoot. I can just get up this bit. So that's our track bed up there. The Synthite works is a few yards the other side of it, and hopefully we can get up to a point where I can find where this bridge was. So let's see how we get on. There's a very deep part here, so I need to avoid that. That tree. Okay, so I've managed to wade a couple of hundred yards probably. Got a bit hairy up there, very deep, had to go around it, but I've just noticed something very, very interesting. So let's just walk over to here. I've also just noticed another interesting thing. Now look at that. Is that a railway wheel? I reckon it is. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because I've stirred the bottom up a bit, but under the water, so down there, I don't know if you can see it, is a fish plate. but despair not, because and there's a lot of brickwork around here. But if you look here, there's another fish plate. Now what I was going to point out, I'm looking for the bridge because the line is on that side of the river and it does cross over to that side at some point, and I'm looking for any evidence of a bridge. Now we've got this stone wall here. It sort of ends here. It starts about 20 yards that way. So you can see it's a definite stone wall, and I thought originally it was like a supporting wall, but it doesn't appear to be supporting anything. Our line was definitely over there on that side. So at this moment, because I haven't found anything to support a better candidate, I think this could be the site of our bridge, but there's nothing on that side. But the wheel and the fish plates are brilliant finds. Let's keep going. So that's the river going back towards Mould. That's towards Ridimwin. I'm up on the east bank. I've come to what looks like a pinch point, and for the first time on the east bank we've got lots and lots of rocks, even built in some sort of a formation there. I think we've got lots of rocks that side. It comes in a bit of a pinch point. I think this could be the point of the bridge, and it's just not much of it left. Okay, forget all of the other locations I've said which could be potential for a bridge. Firstly, look at this brick. That's interesting, because I think we found our bridge point. There's the west bank, a definite stone abutment. If we move a little bit up along the river, we have a definite stone abutment on the east bank as well. So I think the mystery has been solved. Just get up on this rock, and there you can even see the point where the deck would have gone across right here. And handily, we've got a stone area, so that is definitely the point where the line would have crossed the River Allen. And you can see over there, yeah, that don't look good, does it?
A look at the 1912 map will show the geography better than was depicted in the footage. And although I wasn't aware of it, my river wade ran parallel with the railway's alignment. Here, south of the line, is what was then known as the Allen Tin Plate Works, more recognisable today as the Synthite chemical plant, which up until 1983 received a regular railway service. The various associated sidings are clearly visible. This superb photo from Trevor Thompson, dated 1974, shows the main line on the right, heading for Ridimwin. The river is just to the right of the bushes on the far right, while the Synthite Works is clearly visible, with a line-up of tankers in the sidings. Incidentally, make a note of the orange shunting loco for the next episode. Returning to the map once more, and the location of the elusive bridge can be seen here on this sharp bend in the river, a bend which I must admit wasn't obvious while I was in the water. Regardless though, mission accomplished, I found the river crossing point.
So I'm going to see if I can climb up onto the bridge area, which is going to be easier said than done. There we go. There's a toaster there, that's interesting. So there's our abutment, and straight away we've got a couple of sleepers. acting as fence posts. The line would have gone over there, so I've got to try and follow that somehow. So I need to get out onto this field if I can, and I shall see you on the other side. So now that our track bed has come across the river, should be in these beautiful purple and pink flowers, but getting in there is another story once more. It's I mean, in 40 years that's quite a lot of vegetation to build up in 40 years. I am actually on a footpath, so I'm not trespassing here. Now, is there any way that I can get in there? I mean, this must be the track bed here, surely. Now this mound, if you're thinking, is that anything to do with the railway? No, I think that's a flood defence for the river, because the River Allen has flooded a few times in recent years, and something had to, it diverts it into the fields basically. So this must be the track bed here. Let's get into here, a nice open area, and see if there's any evidence. So we've got a bit of a wall. There we go, ballast. So we're past the synthite works, that's there, and our track would have come in this direction. The sidings to take the wagons into the synthite works would have been back there. However, this would have continued on for a few more yards, just up to the bridge ahead of us, in the form of a head shunt. But there's definitely lots of evidence of our old friend the ballast here. So again, we are on the right area, and we have the river down there. Now I'm wondering, can I get down there? Because I'd love to see if we can see the bridge. No access into the river, unfortunately, on account of it suddenly becoming very deep. However, a bit further ahead I can access the next bridge, which crossed the line. So we've got lots of abandonment here. We've got an abandoned road, an abandoned bridge over an abandoned railway, but not an abandoned river. I think this road was the road which would have took you from Mould to Denbigh before the A541 was built over there, or the extra bits. Now, if I poke the camera over the wall, so you can see where we was down there, when that gate is over the embankment, the line was exactly there. Came out of the trees just the other side of that gate, and the line would have come all the way down to literally down there, and that's where the head shunt ended, where they used to shunt the wagons into the synthite works, which is to the right of the trees over there. And as I say, the head shunt would have come all the way down here and ended right there, where the River Allen is just there. You may be able to see it through the trees.